Hey everyone, welcome back to another Life and Drawing podcast. This is podcast episode 33, and this is going to be a part 2 to episode 31, which was focused around cats or dogs. Uh, Cover it in part 1, what's your preference? Do you prefer cats or dogs? And then why? And if you are a cat or a dog person as far as your personality. And granted, cats and dogs are pets, and there are numerous other pets, numerous traditional pets like hamsters and the different variety of fish, uh, rabbits, parakeets, and then you have some more, and then you have some other non-traditional pets, the exotic reptiles and such, and whether it's just different snakes, types of snakes, pythons, rattle, excuse me, rattlesnakes. And then, you have insects as well. You have arachnids. I don't know if you have a whole lot of insects as pets. I know folks have, ant farms. I always wanted to have an ant farm. And maybe that could be a topic for another time. I just think it's fascinating. Ants on the whole are just, I should start drawing, fascinating. But let me hit the timer to not get too far off pocket and off track. It's cats and dogs, part 2. And then part 2, one of the questions I want to pose to us is, what pet, if you had a cat or a dog, what pet you had the longest? Was it uh, um, the cat or the dog? Maybe both. And I know in the last episode I said I would I would look at I would look at reference photos and for cats and dogs. And guess what happened? I did not do any reference photos or research for cats or dogs. And so, yeah, I am still in that poor state of not having a reference for, no, not an accurate reference for cat and dog anatomy. And so, this is gonna be the one and only attempt. Although I'll show you this. Here's a sneak peek. So this is exclusive sneak peek for this podcast. So right here, I didn't use a reference for this. I literally just drew. And, it's a side profile, so it's fairly easy. It's not, and it's probably not super accurate too as well. And it's very illustrative, or like cartoony, I should say. But I think in this photo and these sketches and this illustration, I think I capture it a lot more accurately than my previous drawing. And I really didn't. I just, and honestly, sometimes that works best for me. Now, again, this is, anatomically, it's probably not accurate. I think this right here is accurate. I can zoom in so you can see my stylus. So this right here is accurate. This, I think that area is accurate there, and even maybe up to here. But this, I'm not sure. That's a elongated neck. But this I feel is fairly accurate. The length of bend here, I don't suspect. And this, I like this. So same thing here. This seems too long of a neck for the anatomy. It seems very exaggerated right here. And so, oh, and this disclaimer: the kids are home, the wife is home. So, if you hear stuff in the background, it is what it is. I just need to record. I need to get it out. I was supposed to do it last night, and I fell asleep watching Narcos Mexico, and but anyway, that's neither here or there. So I'm doing it now. Upon when I'm editing, and if it's too noisy, I may just put like a instrumental overlay to mask it to some degree. But if not, it'll just be ambient noises, particularly my little one. So, all right. So yeah. So I don't know why. What was the point of all of this? Oh yeah, just to show you that there's some basic anatomical reference I know of, but sometimes it works better than other days, and so I just wanted to just show that and own up to the fact that I didn't do my homework. So that was a long-winded way of saying I didn't do my homework. So needless to say, I'm not gonna try and draw dogs or cats because I didn't do my homework. To build the confidence to do it like this on the fly, and so yeah, I think it was supposed to be a 2, but I don't know what that 2 would be. So anyway, going back to episode 30. Oh, 33. Hopefully I said this is episode 33 and not 32. If not, I'll find out and put an edit, make a correction in the edits. I was going to say I'm going to put an edit in the edit. Edit square. This is going off the rails. And it's not even like 2 a.m. in the morning. It's 11:19. So, but yeah. So, what pet did you have the longest? Was it your cat, or was it your dog? And since we're talking about cats and dogs, I think cats generally, and I do not know this for certain, but I think cats generally have a longer lifespan, and I could be wrong. I'm not, and I know like certain dogs have shorter lifespans, unless real strict dietary practices are made and kept. Like some just develop like heartworms, or just different stuff biologically, and so some just have a lifespan of maybe like 10 years, 10 human years, and then that's it. Or some it's like they have like 8 good years, and then after that, like there's just rapid decline that follows. And I think cats, like I said, I could be wrong, but I think cats generally have a longer life plan expectancy. um, unless, of course, they develop some type of disease, or maybe there's some cross genetic type thing that occurs, and so you don't know, um, for certain. It just, at least in my experience, it just seemed that way. It just seemed that our cats, unless they wandered off, just had much longer lifespans, um, than our canines. So, um, so yeah, so to answer the question from my experience, yeah, our cat, Kitty, she, man, she she lived to about, I want to say like 17 or 18 years. So I think at one point, and maybe she still is, because at one point, like her cat years, like, because they have dog years and cat years. Um, I know they have dog years, cat years. I'm not sure. Again, say I should look this stuff up. But it was older. She was older than me at one point, and and her cat years, and so that was that was it's kind of cool. Um, what was I gonna say? So yeah, so Kitty, man, she's the one pet that, um, certainly had the longest, and so, um, uh, so yeah, so I probably, if they're talking, I should talk louder. That way I can block that out. um, uh, and that, and that's a blessing and I don't want to say curse, but it's I guess it's equally satisfying and saddening at the same time, because you get to spend a whole lot of time with with uh with your pet, but you also get to witness their decline as well. And so with Kitty, just, and again, I explained in part one why we named her Kitty, because as a kitten, uh, I mean, she just simply embodied the definition of just the playfulness and the energy of a kitten. And I know that may seem kind of, well, aren't kittens just usually kittens? But yeah, it just felt like she was, kitten to the power of 1,000. And so, and even after her kitten stage, she um, she still had that playful, uh, energetic energy, you know, and so it's certainly satisfying, because you know we had her when we were in our apartment, and when my dad bought and remodeled our official first home, she was there too as well, and so just being a part of that move, and that was kind of scary because you're like, man, this is a completely different area and environment. Thankfully, we had walls, where our house was, and she was a female cat too, so she wouldn't be prone to wander, because the male cats, they wander, they gotta go out on their pilgrimage and spread their seed and and do all that kind of stuff for whatever reason. Um, uh, but 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 yeah, so yeah, man, just the times of you know just chilling on the Odell steps, petting her and having a purr, and um, yeah, it was. She looked just like the cat on the Friskies. Now I don't know if they've changed the models because obviously I've not to buy cat food in my goodness over 10, close to over 10 years now. Um, yeah, but she looked like that orange and white faced cat in the Friskies box, and so uh, um, so yeah, so I didn't really know what breed she was really, so that's why I said she just had that typical that Friskies cat bill. So, uh, but anyway, yeah. So that's the pet we had the longest. We didn't really fare that well with our dogs. They either ran away or they died somehow, or you know, um, yeah, um, we just didn't fare well with dogs. Oh, I think I was going to talk about the Rockweiler. Um, I think the situation we had. I think we still had Kitty at this time too. Um, yes, we did because this was short lived with the Rockweiler. We, I don't know why my dad. I don't know what he was on, but uh, somehow he agreed to take this full grown, not adolescent. This full grown. Uh, I think it was a male. Was it a male or female? I don't remember. But it was a full grown adult Rockweiler. And I was just like, what? And I was already, at this stage, I'm already over having to clean up poop. Because, cats, I mean, they take care of themselves when it comes to stuff like that. Bathroom. And unless it's indoor where, we had a litter box if she stayed in the house uh, at night, which she did, and until she started like peeing on the couch, and we were like, no, 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 you're not gonna have any of that. But yeah, but as far as like man, scooping up dog poop and all that stuff, I was like, man, I thought I was done with that. And this dog used to just, big dogs, man, bigger the dogs, the bigger the dog poop. It's just nuts. So, but aside from that, uh, this dog was just crazy aggressive when it came to feeding him. It was like he just wanted to attack me. I'm like, man, I'm feeding you, man. I'm giving you food. So literally, don't bite the hand that's feeding. Um, I want to say it may have lasted for a month. Because I went back to my dad, and I was older then. I think I was upper upper teens. Really late teens. Uh, if not like 20, I'm not sure. I was like, hey, this is not gonna work. Yeah, I was just like, and I think and I think it was at that stage of where a decline was coming. Because it started to have like this mucus stuff around its eyes, and we took it to the vet. I'm trying to think, how do we even take that dog to the vet? Did we? I think we did, but I don't know how. Was I on a truck? Anyway, I'm trying to think. Yeah, we did, and they were like, yeah, if there's other dogs around, it can pass on like that. And I said, yeah, because walking in the neighborhood, other dogs come around, they try to test it, and they're like, yeah, this happens with them, and they can, and I was just, um, so I think we gave it away, or we returned it to the previous. I don't know what, but it was just short lived. Um, uh, I was just totally reliving that moment. But but yeah, I think we just ended up giving it away and calling that a wrap because I was like, yeah, I just don't have the time to try to retrain and what's the word? Uh, what's the word? It's similar to retrain, but recondition. Just recondition. And at this point, it's a full adult dog, and you have Caesar Milan, that dog whisperer. I mean, but I don't have that kind of time, and so. And again, I'm more of a cat person, fully more of a cat person at this point in time. Um, and so, but yeah, that was short lived. So that was the shortest um, time frame of having a pet. Um, uh, and what I want to um, wrap up with, I think, or start to wrap up with, I got like 4 more minutes. I'm sorry, I've talking, been talking more than drawing. But again, that's what this is for. uh, um, what would you rather be? I know in the part one, I ended with, are you a cat or dog personality? But if you had to be a cat or a dog specifically, not saying any animal, just narrowing it down again just to cat or dog. Because ultimately, if I had to be uh, a different animal or species, wait, is that right? Yeah, I'm trying to remember the whole, uh, classification because you have plants, animals, and then underneath that you have the different. Who is it? Species or is it? Man, because you got species. You have classificate. Anyway, if I was to be anything else other than a human, I always thought of, hey, it'd be cool to be a an a an ant, and and I think at one point I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, I'd be a lion, king of the jungle. Ah. Um, uh, but then I think as my knowledge grew with understanding, um, understanding. Just by the biology the biology of animals and insects. I was like, man, I would like to be an ant, you know. And there's different kinds of ants. You have the bullet ant, red ant. You got the sugar ants and stuff like that. So I don't know. Um, just one that doesn't die like within a year. you know, because when you think of ants, man, I mean, yes, folks, yeah, and I remember folks, be, oh man, you can get squished on, and I'm like, well, yeah, if I, walk out into an open area where I'm not supposed to be, um, uh, but ants are incredibly strong. They're smart too as well. They're planners. They prep, um, hard workers. Um, because they have 10 times their body weight, and so, and yeah, man, just ingenuity. I mean, I guess all that goes into smarts and stuff like that. But yeah, I say yeah, like I'll be an ant. So, um, but yeah, but anyway, but since it's just cat or dog, I definitely would be a dog all the way. I mean, just no. I know you guys can see through that. No, it'll definitely be a cat. I have a full-on cat's personality. Um, uh, I think that would just fit perfectly uh, with my personality as it is. Uh, so yeah, I would definitely be. Oh, there we go. Definitely be Catso. Um, Sorry, I didn't really draw as much. Like I said again, it's something about this topic where um, I don't know if it's just more intriguing or it's more uh, nostalgic when I think of my pets, and I I get lost. I get lost in that, just reminiscing of, man, those were the days. Uh, Having a pet and the ebbs and flow of you know raising a pet. And I can see why folks, when they start off couples, they buy a pet and before they have kids but it doesn't come close to having a kid. As much as I truly uh, have a deep affection for Kitty. Uh, Kitty doesn't come close to my boys. It's not even on the scale, you know. And so, but I get how folks can get uh, um, attached, or they start off with having a pet just to see if they can manage having to be concerned and having the ability to care for something else than themselves. And so, and I think having pets are. I mean, I'm kind of over it. I'm like, I don't know if my boys were to say, "Hey, can we have a dog?" So I'm praying against that. Because I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of financial commitment and time. Uh, and but at the same time, it I mean, it's an incredible way of um, developing structure and responsibility, um, and and that's greatly important. Particularly with youngsters. That way they realize uh, what type of level of responsibility, what it is, and then what's required. And then, particularly, if they're part of a bigger household, they can have a little snippet of what it is, of what their parents have to do, and providing for them and taking care of them. They get to, they get to experience that, particularly if it's like a cat or a dog, where you can get at the age of a pup or a kitten, and you go, oh, I gotta clean up after them, or they don't know this is where they need to poop, and you know what I mean. And so, so having pets, uh, um, are like on that level where there's more interactivity with them outside of like an aquarium, where you just have to make sure, hey, you're feeding, I don't know what, once or twice a day, and you're checking water levels and making sure if the tank needs to be cleaned. It's a lot more distant, and so yeah, I think it's yeah, I think it definitely helps build certain level of character and responsibility, particularly when it's done right. Because there's one thing, you let kid take on a pet, and then you do everything, or you guys don't care at all. And then that's really terrible for the pet, for the animal, where it's like, why take it in if you're not gonna take care of it? And so, um, well, thanks for, man. I really, I feel somewhat bad that I didn't really pay much attention um, to the drawing part of this. But like I said, I'm just a real special place. It comes to pets, and at least the pets that I had. Um, uh, just going back to memory lane, just took me back, and so yeah, man. So you have pets, take care of them, cherish the time that you have with them. Um, they're not gonna always be around. So, um, uh, just um, cherish what you have while you have it, and um, yeah, and you just move on. Um, Particularly, I don't know, because I've experienced both. I've experienced a pet running away or wandering off and like never seeing it again, and it's like, man, what happened? Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully you find someone else. And if it passed, hopefully it was quick and it was it. And then I've had the experience with Kitty having to, um, be in a room when she was being put down. She had jaundice. She developed jaundice, and so she wasn't eating as much. Of course, I was already married at this time, but my mom was like, "Hey, she's not eating. I hardly see her. She's moving slowly." And man, I went and I saw her. And I said, "Oh man, she lost a lot of weight. Just did not look good." Um, and yeah, again, would not eat. And at one point, she was going underneath one of the cars in the yard, and I, so my mom and we decided, we're like, hey man, we don't want to just to wander off somewhere and die miserably, you know. Um, so so I took her in to the vet. I don't even remember the date, the time. Like I said, it's been more than hmm, hmm, I think it's been more than 6 years. Uh, but anyway, took her in, and the vet was like, "Hey man, you want to be in? Because this is tough." And and he explained that, hey, we put something in where we make them fall asleep, and then the second shot is what uh, stops their heart. So that way they don't feel anything. They're out, um, and and yeah. So I was there, just like I said, she was so weak and stuff like that. Um, I think she barely felt the injections. Um, but yeah, she was there, and then she wasn't, and took her back home and buried her in the backyard. Yeah, my mom took it. I'll turn this up. My mom took it, like I said, in part one, harder than most. because she was truly her companion, in the house. Because she would say sometimes she would just come next to her and lay at her feet, and you know, um, yeah, man, Kitty was a cool cat. So, well, thanks for listening to this podcast. Podcast episode 33. Be sure to check out my Patreon page when you support the work that I do, and you go to patreon.com/MichelO'Lully. You can follow me also on Facebook, which I guess now is turning to meta.com, but just go to Facebook, facebook.com/MichelOComics. You can also find me on Instagram, which is Instagram @MichelO'Lully. And be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. And I think I need to get up to like 1,000 subscribers before I can get a custom URL. And I didn't know that, because I used to tell folks, yeah, just go to youtube.com/MichelO'Lully. And I tried going to it myself, and I was like, this is not loading up. So I was misleading people for, a good 15 shows, 15 episodes. So be sure to like and subscribe. Get my subscriber count up. Get it up to 10. Get the like count up to 7. That would be cool. So thanks for watching. Enjoy your pets. If you have any, remember the ones if you've had those that passed. And have a great time. Have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening. Grace and peace.